What is the goal of the Metaphon Approach? The Metaphon Approach is to demonstrate visually and auditorily how sounds work. A child with phonological disorder has not yet learned the rules of the phonological system and does not yet know how to discriminate between the features of contrasting phonemes. Feature differences include characteristics such as duration, manner, and place of articulation. The targets of this therapy are aimed to increase intelligibility through imitation and by focusing on rare sounds that might not be easily acquired by typically developing children, as well as those who are susceptible to phonological impairment. What's the history of metaphone analysis? It was developed in the 1980s by Janet Howell and Elizabeth Dean. In phase 1, the clinician highlights visually for the client the long or short feature of the picture that corresponds to the targeted sound.
Hi, Kalia.
Hi.
Today we're going to talk about long sounds and short sounds.
Cool.
So, we have our friend here, Hobbs the cat. Sometimes he has a long tail, and other times he prefers to have a short tail. So, could you draw a long tail on Hobbs for me?
I sure can. Long.
Awesome. That's a great long tail. Now I'm going to have you draw a short tail. Great. That's an awesome short tail.
In phase 2, the clinician will demonstrate a long versus short sound by using a marker or pen to draw a line with an audible sound to illustrate the contrastive difference between phonemes.
Now we're going to talk about short sounds and long sounds. Hear that long sound the marker made against the board? That's a long sound. Did you hear the short sound the marker made against the board? That's a shorter sound. Can you make a short sound for me? Awesome. Can you make a long sound for me? That was great.
In phase 3, the clinician begins to bring in the actual phonemes along with the visual aid.
Now we're going to talk about other types of sounds. The sound t is a short sound, so Hobbs has a short tail. The sound is a long sound, so Hobbs has a long tail. Can you make a short sound for me and draw the tail on Hobbs? That was great. That was an awesome short sound. Can you make the long sound and draw a tail? Awesome job!
In the final phase, the clinician leads the child to transfer the targeted phoneme to the word level. This is done in order to identify in words the long versus short sound.
We're going to talk about those sounds in words. This is the word tan. It has a short sound. This is the word van. It has a long sound. Can you point to the word that has the short sound? Good. Can you say that word?
Tan.
Excellent job. That was a great short sound. Can you point to the word with the long sound? Nice. Can you say that word?
Van.
Awesome job. You said a great long sound.
What are the strengths of this technique? The metaphone technique is directly aimed at reducing phonological processes such as fronting, substitution, approximations, and voicing. The technique allows the therapist to illustrate sounds as well as inundate the client with multiple stimuli simultaneously, such as visual, auditory, and through interactive practice. This method also allows for the client to enter into therapy without any real sense of how sounds function in a language, and to allow them to build a foundational awareness through this technique. The limitations of this technique are that it focuses primarily on preschool-age children and that there are not currently a lot of recent evidences to support this method's efficacy. That's why we need more therapists to explore the many potential benefits that this approach has to offer. Who would this technique be good for? Metaphone analysis would work best for those children with a comprehension ability of preschool to first grade level. It would work well for children who with a mild to moderate phonological processing issue, and for those with a structured and supportive learning or therapy environment. Metaphone analysis would not be as suited for children with motor planning issues, auditory comprehension issues, or moderate to severe behavioral issues, since it does not have an implicit way to correct children who make repetitive errors, or for those who cannot hear or perceive sounds and their visual components of the therapy.